everywhere to be found. There is peace all around, always peace. There is love all around, always love. There is love all around, always love. There is love all around, everywhere to be found. There is love all around, always love.
Good morning, and welcome to Unity of Louisville. My name is Reverend Valerie Mansfield, and I'm so glad that each of you are here today. Let us open in prayer. And as we take a breath, we say, thank you, living, loving Spirit, for this opportunity to come together in love, in peace, and in prayer. And as we continue this time together, we do so as love, and sending that love in and through each of us into the world, seeing peace unfolding. We are blessed with sunshine this beautiful day. And as we move forward, we do so with ease and grace. And so it is. Amen. Today we have a great service planned. We are continuing the Discover the Power Within, and Gerry Boylan, our guest speaker, will be talking on the Law of Nonresistance. We have Alex Rohleder reading our daily word. Judy Paulsmeyer is our pianist. Deb Reinhardt-Brocious is our special leader, along with our special song leader, along with Dawn Reinhardt and Phil Crothers. And for our and today our special musician is John Gage. Our ushers and our sound booth, Robert Bagley, and we have no one on PowerPoint today, so we'll figure that one out in a minute. Somebody want to volunteer, they can come right up. So as we continue on, I'm going to have Chuck Fulner come up from our board. He's our board president, for those of you who may not know that, and give us an update on what's happening.
Okay, two different things. Every real estate deal has an inspection of the building that you were about to purchase, which we've done. It was a very thorough inspection, and it identified several areas of deferred maintenance in the building that we're going to, which we have now asked the sellers to help us in taking care of the most immediate problems. We're in that process of negotiating exactly what they're going to do versus exactly what we're going to do, and I am very confident we'll have all that done. At the same time, we are moving ahead with arranging financing for the purchase, using both this building and the new building as the initial collateral. And that's moving ahead with good speed. The other thing that many of you have seen that literally just popped up, there's a nonprofit organization here in town called the Christie Love Foundation that wants to purchase our they could possibly have to expand what they do. So this week sometime we will enter into a letter of intent agreement with them for them to purchase the building. They are applying for grant money to help finance the real estate deal, and they'll have a gala here in this building on July 13th. I would urge you to attend if you possibly can. It's a wonderful organization. Their executive director herself went through that whole process. She was a victim and she worked her way out. And I have never met anyone with that energy that she could possibly, there's no one on planet Earth that has more energy than she does. So she has decided that she is going to buy this building, so therefore it will happen.
Wow. That's great.
Your part to play, if you possibly can, is to attend that gala on July 13th, and then provide some support to them ongoing afterward. Reverend Ray is talking about possibly doing some services on Saturday nights for people who are in recovery in this building, so we'll rent that back from the foundation. Things are moving. They seem to all be coming together at the same time with the right elements. So if we hold that thought in mind, that's exactly what will happen. Thank you all.
And thank you for that. Beautiful update. So we got a lot going on, so let's just keep moving forward and holding the vision. So it's now time for us to greet our first-time guest? No? Oh, opening song. Okay. We haven't done an opening song yet, which is I'm Choosing Heaven Today.
Please stand and join us. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing bliss today. I'm choosing bliss today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing bliss today. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing joy today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing life today. I'm choosing life today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing life today.
Okay, now it's time to greet our first-time guests. Please be seated. So as our ushers come forward, if you're here for the first time, we'd like to honor you with a small gift, a package of information about the Unity Movement and Unity of Louisville, and also a candle that will remind you of your visit here with us today and remind you that you are a light in the world. So if you're here with us for the first time, please raise your hand. Okay, we have some up here in the front. And just keep them raised and our ushers will get to you in just a moment. All right. And so just know that wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. And if we say something today that doesn't really resonate with your heart, just let it go, leave it here. And Aaron or I, one of us, will sweep it up after a while. And just know wherever you are on that spiritual journey, you are welcome here with us. And so let's welcome our first-time guest. And if you don't like big bear hugs, this next part you might want to hold out your hand because we're going to do our meet and greet. And if you have your hand extended, you won't get the big hugs. So remember, if they have their hand out, we
I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing bliss today. I'm choosing bliss today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing bliss today. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing love today.
Hey, please be seated. And now, as we our seats, we're going to do our affirmation for inclusion today. So affirm with me, I'm beautiful in my way. And we all are unique, and we all are beautiful in our own way. Is that the only one we have today? Oh, we have a generosity affirmation, so let's say this one together. I am exuberant, joyful expression of spirit, participating fully in the principle of generosity, and so it is. All right. And now, as we move into our Lord's Prayer, know that there'll be a moment of silence after the service, after the prayer, where our energy workers, oneness blessing givers, and anyone who wants shares their energy in love.
Our Creator, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from error. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever.
Amen. A reading from our daily word, Sunday, June 23rd. Today's word, spiritual journey. I continue my spiritual journey, one with Spirit. My life is a spiritual journey that began long before my birth. I am on an eternal spiritual journey that leads me ever more deeply into the awareness of God's presence, awareness of oneness. Even when I have not been seeking, God has always been there. The psalmist asks, "Where can I go from your spirit? Or where can I flee from your presence?" No matter how far I have thought I strayed, a renewed awareness of God has always been as near as my next thought. When I have felt stuck or even lost on my spiritual journey, many times the thought of God has helped me find my way again. As I continue my spiritual journey, I go with God. For wherever I am, God is. Psalm 139:7. Where can I go from your spirit? Or where can I flee from your presence? And so it is.
In the silence, there is a sacred place, a secret meeting place. Love is there. In the silence, where every color blends and every rainbow ends, love is there. In the light, now you find that you know peace of mind. In the silence, your path is paved in gold, and all your dreams unfold. Love is there. Peace is there. Truth is there. God is there.
And so I invite you now to continue to be comfortable, allowing your body to relax. This temple that we all live in, this physical representation of the Creator. Take a deep breath in and relaxing a little bit more, allowing the pew beneath you just to hold you. Taking another deep breath in and letting go. Letting go of whatever thoughts are racing through your mind right now. And just being present to this moment. With another deep breath. If you're ready, I invite you to close your outer eyes and continue to move into that space within, to listen for that still small voice guiding your way on this spiritual journey of life. allowing the presence of God to be felt through your whole being, renewing every cell in your body, releasing what no longer serves you right here, right now, and opening to a new awareness of God, of energy, the Creator, Spirit, and allowing that to move in and through you as love, radiating love throughout your whole being, being present to that ever-flowing life. And take a moment just to feel life moving through you. Feel that energy vibrating all around you. Becoming still and present right here, right now, to the Spirit within in silence. Now we take a breath, returning to this time, to this place, with no resistance, allowing life to flow in and through our being, lighting up the way, allowing us to be free. Free to that unlimited potential that is all around us as we're guided to release and let go of any resistance, any control, and allow Spirit, God, to show us the way. And we say thank you. Thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen.
Starlit skies are glowing, filled with endless possibilities. From a world beyond our knowing shines a lifetime divine epiphany. It's the landscape of a sacred dream, uncharted seas of mystery. A soulful song with a brand new theme, and it feels to me a lot like victory. I feel the winds of eternity blowing through the finitude of my days. I feel the seeds of new life growing in the soil of 1,000 graves. And this is the birth of me, unfolding dream coming to be, changing my reality. This is what it means to be free. My thoughts become my history. Vision shapes my destiny. On my way to a new horizon, the life I dream comes rising. Letting go of limitation, got no time for hesitation. Take life's open invitation to the banquet of creation. My thoughts become my history. Vision shapes my destiny. On my way to a new horizon, the life I dream comes rising. I feel the winds of eternity blowing through the finitude of my days. I feel the seeds of new life growing in the soil of 1,000 graves. And this is the birth of me, unfolding dream coming to be, changing my reality. This is what it means to be free. This is what it means to be free.
May all beings be at peace. May all beings be free of suffering. May all beings remember who they are. And may all beings be reborn in love and light and grace. Thank you, John. Beautiful. There was a man named Francis Thompson, who was an alcoholic drug addict, dying on the streets of London, who was rescued by a few friends of his. Turned out he was a poet, creative genius in some ways. One of his most famous works was a poem called The Hound of Heaven, which is the story of him running away from God. He said in the first lines of that poem, I fled him down the nights and down the days. I fled him down the arches of the years. I fled him down the twisted corridors of my mind and hid beneath hollow laughter in the midst of fears and tears. But without hurrying chase, with unperturbed pace, came following, 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 closer, closer, closer. It'd probably be very foolish of any of us to think that we would run away from the divine or truth or grace or love and light. And yet in the midst of me wondering how foolish that might be, The more I think about it, the more I realize that if I were not running away from those things, then I would have them all the time. If I were not running away from love, then I would always realize I am loved. If I were not running away from grace, I would always be in grace. If I was not running away from the love that is given to me, the divine, unconditional love, then I would be in the presence of that all the time. And so I begin to wonder, am I really running away from something that I don't even know I'm running away from? We spend a whole lot of time with God. In fact, that seems to be our essential earthly task, is to find or discover the presence of God in all things and everything, especially within ourselves, to know the truth of who we are. But I wonder what it would be like to flip that over. And instead of us trying to find God, what would it be like to let God find us? What would it be like, to put it in more terms that we might understand, what would it be like to let love find you rather than you trying to find it? Our reading this morning quoted Psalm 139. Where can I go from your spirit? From your presence, where can I flee? If I go up to the heavens, you are present there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I rise on the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the farthest limits of the sea, even there your hand will guide me and your right hand hold me fast. The divine is always working within us. Why might we deny that even unconsciously? Most of us have grown up with the idea that, or the sense that unconditional love, to be loved unconditionally without any limits at all, is just too good to be true. And if you're like me, you have a whole list of things that would say, this is why I can't be loved that way. We don't publicize that a whole lot. We don't put it on our foreheads. But here it is anyway. What would it be like to let go of those things that we think get in the way? It is only through my little personality self, this self that I become overly identified with, that I think unconditional love is too good to be true. And then on top of that, not only do we think that it's too good to be true, but if I were to take the chance, if I were to take the risk to dive into these divine waters of unconditional love, and to just feel that bliss, to be overcome with being loved and being held and being cradled and being honored and being loved and being cherished. If I were just to allow that to happen, you know what's going to happen? It might be taken away from me. And the hurt that would follow it being taken away seems to be worse than the joy that I might have accomplished for maybe a few minutes in my life. See, that's another thing most of us grew up with. We grew up with the sense that love and joy and peace and harmony, especially unconditional love, are sort of these arbitrary things because they rest on the outside and they rest on somebody else's whim or somebody else's ideas, that somehow or another they can be taken away from us on a whim. I mean, there were so many times, I don't want to get into my own personal history so much, but there were so many times when I'd be at home and there would be something that would happen that would be wonderful and joyful and happy, and I would fill my heart up and I'd say, oh my God, here it is, finally. And 2 minutes later, in a drunken argument, it would be gone. And I learned very early that experience of love or joy or peace or whatever it might be, it was too painful to open up to, because the taking away of it was worse than having it in the first place. And what I realized later on, it is only with that little limited personality self that I think it's too good to be true, or I think that it can be taken away. It is not. It was never something outside. It was always something inside of me. But what happened to me was, perhaps like you, is because I was afraid of it being taken away and because I felt like it was too good to be true, that I became angry and cynical and bitter. Of course, I didn't show that to you. The outside of me was always kind and loving and grateful. But I began to discover that anger came out of me sometimes at the worst possible times. That bitterness came out of me, that I became sarcastic, that my humor cut rather than healed. And it was then I began to realize that what I was doing was isolating myself again and again and again from that which I desired the most. It was that living human paradox of wanting to be loved so deeply, of wanting to be immersed in unconditional love, and at the same time feeling or sensing or thinking that I was not worth it, or even if I thought I was worth it for a moment, that it would be taken away. Remember, all of this inner turmoil comes from identifying with this little piece, this little personality self, which is not who I am. Once I begin to realize that is not who I am not my feelings or I'm not even my history, as John said. I am more than that. When I begin to just open the door to realizing that, everything changes. The whole picture changes. The novelist George Eliot once wrote, "The golden moments in the course of life rush past us and we see nothing but sand. The angels come to visit us and we only know them when they are gone." Or as Thoreau once said, "Oh God, to have reached the point of death and to realize that I have never lived." How sad. The difficulty is that we are trying to create or embrace our divine nature through our limited personality self, and it doesn't work that way. It can't work that way. You don't become your divine self. The divine self becomes you when you let it. Kids already know that. That's why you look in their eyes and you know they know something you forgot a long time ago. They might not be consciously aware of it, but this little baby that you're holding looks at you and says, "I know who I am." That's why you want to pick me up. That's why you want to hold me. That's why you want to look in my eyes. Because you know you've forgotten. Letting love find me, letting love find you. I recalled I was sitting in my, this is pre-Margot days, I was sitting in my little carriage house apartment off Douglas Boulevard, playing some music. And I was feeling a little bit blue, not totally depressed, but feeling a little bit blue, a little bit down. I remember saying, "God, Father God, what do you think about me?" And then I said, "Oops, maybe I shouldn't have asked that question." But the answer came back almost immediately. And it wasn't that I heard voices, but the concept came in words in my mind and said, "You are my son, and I love you." And I cried. And immediately, my ego, my personality kicked in and said, "Oh, you just made that up." And I almost bought it. But I realized, because my higher self, my understanding, the wisdom of who I am kept kind of gently moved in and said, "Look, you're really good at making things up, but you're not that good." That answer to your prayer was too perfect, was too close to the truth of who you really are. From the book of Ezekiel, "For thus says the Lord God, I myself will search for my sheep and will seek them out. As a shepherd seeks their own flocks, I will rescue you from the places where you have been scattered. I myself will be the shepherd of my sheep. I will seek the lost. I will bring back the strayed. I will bind up the injured, and I will strengthen the weak." The divine within us keeps pushing keeps knocking at the door until we answer it and accept the truth of who we are. It's like the hound of heaven. It is relentless. I will keep going. I will keep after you until you finally, completely accept and embrace the truth of who you are. And in that moment of realization, even if I'm not totally connected with the truth I am, I begin to realize that I have a choice, that I am not controlled by outside people or outside events, that the choice of how I accept myself in terms of unconditional love is within me. It's not dependent on outside circumstances. It's not dependent upon you, not dependent upon you, not dependent on what you think, what you feel, what you say to me. I had that realization a number of years ago when I was driving in the car. We were up in Wisconsin, and I was in a city that I was not familiar with. And I was with Margot, and I was with our oldest granddaughter who was sitting in the back seat. And I was uptight because I was driving someplace that I was not familiar with, and I'm uptight like that anyway. And you know, so God help you if you cut me off or come a little bit too close, because you know you're going to get it. And so somebody did whatever they did. I'm not even sure what it was. And I was all set to let out a string of expletives, which is my normal way of dealing with things like that. And I stopped for a minute. And my inner voice said, or asked me, do you really want your granddaughter to see you that way? And I said, no. Now, all the time before that, I didn't know I had a choice. All the time before that, I just said, well, that's just who I am. That's the way I react. That's the way I respond. It's not a choice. It's a reflex. It's just the way it happens. And all of a sudden, in that moment of awakening, do you want your granddaughter to see you that way? And I said, no. And I responded in kind. The result is very, very simple. Is what I am thinking or the action that I am planning, does it open my heart or does it close my heart? Does it create peace or does it create turmoil? It doesn't have anything to do with how I am feeling emotionally. It has an awful lot to do whether I am connected to you and my own inner self or not. In closing this morning, notice what it would be like as you take the next breath of air, that you open yourself to love that is as well. You breathe in. You don't even say, I breathe in love, because it's already here, and you're already doing that. But that's what's happening. Notice yourself in this holy instant, right now, with nothing else going on except being present to it all. Not trying to define anything at all, but just being present to it. You are a divine child of God. You are a unique expression of the divine through body, mind, spirit, and emotions. Your only confusion comes from your forgetfulness. You've all experienced dreaming something difficult or horrible and waking up. And in that split second before you're completely awake, there's part of you that says, oh my God, this is horrible, this is terrible. I mean, I know that there have been times when I've had a dream where I was drinking, and I'd wake up and I'd be in that place, just, I'm not quite awake yet, but I'm not quite asleep either, and I say, oh my God, I blew it. Oh my God, what's going to happen in my life? I screwed up. And then a split second later, you realize, oh, it's a dream. It's not the truth. It's only a dream. I am free. I didn't do anything that could mess up my life. I didn't do anything to make it all bad. It was a dream. It was not real at all. And see, when you forget who you are, By the way, that forgetfulness is kind of an essential part of our trip. I wish it wasn't, but it is. You will forget all this, and then you will remember all this again. But when you forget who you are, it doesn't mean the truth of that disappears. It's still there. You can forget who you are all you want, but that doesn't change the truth of how much you are loved. It does not change the truth of you being. This makes you think you've lost nothing. You've lost nothing. Even in your forgetfulness, even in the deepest, darkest hours of forgetfulness, your divine connection and being aligned with divine spirit is still there. I have a last piece from Psalm 139. What I was thinking of was when John was singing his song about the birth of me. Years ago, a friend of mine wrote a song based on Psalm 139, and it was called Birth. So here we are again. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. How precious to me are your thoughts, O God, how vast the sum of them. Were I to count them, they would outnumber the grains of sand. And whether I am asleep or awake, you are with me. You are never alone. There is never a time in our deepest hours or moments of despair, even thinking or dreaming that we are separate, that the truth is not there with us. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you with an everlasting love. May this week continue to be a blessing for all of us. Thank you. Peace.
Kind of rough to follow that, Gerry. So I'm going to ask you all to help me out, of course. This past May 3rd would have been Pete Seeger's 100th birthday. And I wasn't with you on that day, but today I am. So I want to sing Pete Seeger's song, My Rainbow Race, and I think it fits pretty well. I got to perform this song once with Pete down at 6th and Jefferson about 15 or so years ago. And Pete was 85 years old at the time. His voice was pretty croaky. And so he said, you want to do something together? And I said, yeah. He said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to sing My Rainbow Race, and I know it well, and I can back you up just fine on it. And I said, because that song means so much to me. And Pete smiled at me and he said, no, you sing, I'll back you up. It's a great honor. Also at that moment, when we were still standing on the sides, kind of in the wings, my cell phone vibrated and it was my son, oldest son, calling. And I answered it. He said, what are you doing? I said, I'm standing next to Pete Seeger. We're getting ready to step up to the microphone. I'll call you back. His response was, no, 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 no. Leave it on. So he got to hear this too. This is what I want you to sing with me. One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping all our shores, one earth so green and round, who could ask for more? And because I love you, I'll give it one more try to show my rainbow race it's too soon to die. Sing it with me. One blue sky above us, one blue sky above us, one ocean lapping all our shores, one earth so green and round, one earth so green and round. Who could ask for more? And because I love you, I'll give it one more try. I'll give it one more try to show my rainbow race, to show my rainbow race. It's too soon to die. It's too soon to die. Some folks want to be like an ostrich, bury their heads in the sand. Some hope that plastic dreams can unclench all those greedy hands. Some hope to take the easy way. Poisons, bombs, they think we need them. Don't you know you can't kill all the unbelievers? And there's no shortcuts to freedom. One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping all our shores, one earth so green and round, one earth so green and round. Who could ask for more? Who could ask for more? Because I love you, and because I love you, I'll give it one more try to show my rainbow race it's too soon to die. Go tell all the little children, tell all the mothers and fathers too. Now's our chance to learn to share what's been given to me and you. And one blue sky above us, one ocean lapping all our shores, one earth so green and round. Who could ask for more? And because I love you, I'll give it one more try to show my rainbow race it's too soon to die. One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping all our shores, one earth so green and round. Who could ask for more?
Wow, thank you, John. Thank you, Gerry. What a great day. Wonderful speakers, wonderful musicians, and who could ask for more? So if we continue on now with our prosperity proclamation, I'm going to take these gifts into our hands, and if you join us online, you can go to the donate button on our website, unityoflouisville.org, and make your donation there. So together, as our ushers come forward, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so now we affirm together our prosperity affirmation. Okay. We are divine spirits. And we bless these gifts with love and light, always, today and every day. And so we see them going through this community with love and light, sharing it with the world. So now for our announcements. Next Sunday, we have a wonderful opportunity workshop, Growing with Change, Where We Are Now. Reverend Greg Coles is a wonderful unity minister from Michigan, and he is the Great Lakes Regional Representative, and he will be here to do this workshop. And we have sign-ups downstairs for lunch. So we would like everyone to attend because we are going through lots of changes right now, and this can help us alleviate some of that stuff that gets stuck in our bodies and when our minds think of what's happening in our community and just in our lives, in our everyday lives. So even if you're not concerned about all the change going on in the community, the one thing I know that's constant in life is change. And it's not always comfortable. So I invite you to join us next Sunday after church for that workshop. Today, I will be doing a workshop on the Introduction to Metaphysical Bible. Just how do we interpret the Bible in unity, and how do we talk about it with our children and with others? So it's kind of just that basic introduction of what is the metaphysics of the Bible and how do we use it in our everyday life. The third thing I want to bring to our forefront is that it's that time of year, and I know school just got out like a couple weeks ago, but they start back in August, and we do an annual backpack drive. We support Englehart Elementary, which is one of the largest school populations. So we gather backpacks and supplies for them each year, and there's a list downstairs in the social room that tells you the supplies that's required and just a general backpack. So we're going to start collecting those, so just bring them in as you get them, and we'll put them up here. All right, and now let us end with our prayer for protection. Stand together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Now for our peace song.
Namaste, y'all.
Namaste, y'all.
One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping all our shores, one earth so green and round. Who could ask for more? And because I love you, I'll give it one more try to show my rainbow race it's too soon to die. One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping all our shores, one earth so green and round. Who could ask for more? Miss Judy.